finally gonna work on my base. Welcome back everyone to Just Minecraft, where as you can see, I am not at my base. I'm actually at Morgan Squid's base. But the reason why I'm here is because I took the train here, and there's just a little thing about the train system right now. It bypasses my base because I haven't got a station. And that is exactly what we're going to be working on today. But no, so currently, the train system just completely goes past my base. You've got Luma's base just down that line, and you've got Morgan Squid's base down that way, and my base is right here. And there was originally supposed to be a train station here, but then I just kind of didn't build it. Same as everything else I agree to do on the server, I just forgot to work on it. But I would like to get it done today, because not only do I actually want a connection on the train line, it would be quite nice. I'm feeling a bit left out. Everyone else has one. But also, you know, my base has been neglected for like 3 months. So anyway, on to business. Where is this train station going to go? Well, I am thinking somewhere around here. I want it on this side of the shoreline. But it's a question of, like, how far along this shoreline do I want it? Do I want it sort of over there by the birch trees, or do I want it right here? Or maybe somewhere in the middle, because the thing is that I've got to try and balance, like, both functionality and aesthetics here. Because I feel like somewhere over here might be the most aesthetic, but it's also like it's really far away from my base. I would have to swim across a lake to get over there. So I'm actually kind of tempted to maybe bring it over here, or I've got a good idea. Oh, this is a brilliant idea. Let me get a sign so that I can write this down. Dock. I want a dock. What if I do a little port here or something? Because, of course, like, it's something that I haven't mentioned, because I haven't worked on my base in ages. But my base here is supposed to be kind of themed around boats. Like, my outfit that I'm wearing, it's a fisherman's outfit, and, like, there's a boat there. That's my starter base. What if I build a port here and everything? Because, of course, ports are also a very common place for trains to also stop, because you unload things from boats and you put it on the train. This is a really good idea, I think. And it also gives me something to actually work towards in a design. I really like this idea now. In which case, yeah, I think over here is probably going to be best, because if we're designing an entire port, even though, like, the port is probably going to take up, like, about this much space, maybe even this much or something, the actual train can probably stop, like, somewhere over here still. And just the rest of this can all be aesthetics, but at least by building it, it's gonna make it a bit easier to walk around my base, so it's not too bad having the train station further away. Is any of this making sense? My brain is just kind of rambling here. I really like this idea though, so I think I'm gonna get to work on it, but of course first, I'm gonna need to cut down some trees. My axe is about to die. I'm gonna get to work cutting down these trees, and I'm going to need to go and get a new axe. Oh. Whoa! Alright, I'll admit, after clearing out the trees, this is a bigger area than I thought. I mean, like, it's not massive. It is still fairly small in terms of, like, projects I have done in Minecraft. It's just, it felt a lot smaller before I took out the tree. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of realizing how much terraforming I'm going to need to do, because if we're gonna put, like, a dock here, or a port, whatever you want to call it, of course, when you've got stuff like that, you need a flat space to store a bunch of cargo, and, like, look at what's behind me. That is not flat. This is like 45 degrees slope. So I am definitely going to need to flatten all of this out. I'm just wondering if I can maybe do a couple tricks to get away with not having to do as much terraforming. So I'm just thinking, like, instead of sort of having to flatten all of this hill down to about like this height here, probably where the sign is, could I maybe do it in steps? So, like, you know, we've got the actual piers, which which are only about this high out of the water. And then there's a little flat area past the piers, and then it comes up, and we can bring it up to about that height. And then it goes back a bit, and then it just goes up again, and this is where we've got the train and everything. I'm just thinking a staggered design like that not only might look nice, but also it does mean that I don't need to do as much terraforming. And I would quite like to not do as much terraforming. The other issue is here, of course, I've got a train track which I need to bring in. Like, how do I do that? Because somehow I have to take a train track which is generally heading this way. Normally people are going this way on the train. I've got to take something that's going this way, turn it off of the track here, and bring it down this slope to wherever we want it to stop. Which, like, it's much lower than you think it is. Oh my gosh. Like, look at how high it is up here compared to down there. It's so much higher than I thought. Genuinely, like, I'm probably going to need to bring it down to about that height there. And considering the fact that it's probably going to be about as far back as, like, over here, I've got to bring this terrain down, and I've got to somehow, like, terraform all of this so that the train can go smoothly through. I don't know why I keep saying train, by the way. It's a minecart. But yeah, I'm getting off topic. What I'm trying to say is I'm gonna do all the terraforming to work out all of the heights and stuff, and I might plan it out with birchwood just so that I've got something that, like, clearly marks it without me accidentally digging it away. And this is also kind of going to define the size of how big this port is going to be. So, like, yeah, let's just get to work on this. As for what it's gonna look like, no clue yet. We'll see. I just have a lot of digging to do. I'm gonna need a new shovel. I have gone through 2 pickaxes and 2 shovels digging all of this out. That is how much digging I have done already today. I was not expecting this much. But it turns out when you're trying to bring the whole level of terrain down, like, yeah, you've got to dig down quite a bit. Look at how much we've brought it down over there. On a side note, I had to cover up our little trident baby zombie over there because they were being such a pain. But as you can see, so of course we've got this area flattened out, and what I have marked here is where the train track is going to go. And initially, what I was going to do for it was have it so that it's just one line. I was expecting this to be much smaller, but then I realized if there's just one line, I can't actually control the direction it's got. Meaning, like, yeah, it could come in, like, from either direction, maybe. I could make it so that it comes in one direction, but then it wouldn't be able to leave in either direction. And really, that is not what we want. We need it to be able to either go, like, that way off to Luma's base and back to spawn, or we need it to go that way off over to, like, Squid and Morg's base. So, annoyingly, I did have to extend it now to 2 different tracks, and I'm pretty sure I'm the only person with 2 tracks, because everyone else has just got a nice linear path, and at the end of the day, this is kind of linear. Like, it's still coming down this way and then just looping back around. It's just, yeah, we've got a very compressed loop here. But also, of course, we've now got this tunnel, which is going all the way up here, and I'm not going to work on the tunnel today, because I would like to actually dedicate a full video to it. Number 1, because it's huge. But also, number 2, like, I'm not entirely sure what the design is going to look like, and there's a lot of stuff that needs to be worked out, like what's gonna happen when it goes from this tunnel, which is fairly wide, into this tunnel. Because technically, I don't really know if anyone owns this tunnel. Like, if I made a guess, it would either be me or Hijuri that owns it, because of course it's Hijuri's train line, but it's my base. But yeah, this is literally just carved out of the mountain and everything. There's nothing special about this tunnel at all, so I don't know if I'm allowed to really design it at all. And if I can, I need to work out how I'm gonna take it from big massive tunnel designed to fit 2 tracks down to just a smaller tunnel for 1 track. Also, as for the fact that the tunnel currently pokes a massive hole through the cliff here, I'm not addressing that. Once again, my focus today is on the port and the train station. The tunnel and all of its issues, that's for next episode. I don't want to touch it today. So, on to the actual topic of the port and the train station, the dock, whatever you want to call it. How are we going to design this? Well, you can already see, like, I've marked out a bunch of this with birchwood, where all of the walls are going to start and everything, and this is dug out one level lower than what it's actually going to be. But you can see, I did go for that staggered design, so all of this is down at this level, then it goes up 2 blocks, and then it only goes up 1 block just for this, and that was just kind of an aesthetic choice. I just liked what I thought it would look like. But also, all of the train tracks here are actually lowered down into the ground as well, so like, the rail is going to go here as well, and basically, I just want to put stairs on all the sides of this. What I'm going to do for the middle, you'll see later. But yeah, basically, we're going to have stairs here, then a single block platform, and then stairs here coming down onto the rail. So it might be a bit weird, but I kind of like the idea of how it's going to look. And also, of course, we've got this little weird shape. We have a bit of a teardrop design with it, which you can't actually see on the map. But we've got this little teardrop design just basically so that our rail has a bit of a smoother curve and everything. I don't like it doing constant 90-degree turns. Why are you guys swimming? But as for what this is going to look like, I'm honestly not entirely sure, because I know that I want a stone floor here, but I also kind of like the aesthetics of spruce wood around the tracks, which, like, I've got an idea for it. I'll show you later. But then, like, if there's spruce wood around the tracks, then how do we transition that into stone? And then also, if there's a stone floor, how do we do stone walls? Because is it going to clash a lot and stuff? And the conclusion that I've come to is we should just mimic what's over there. Kind of. We're going to put a bit more detail into it than what's over here, but I really like this little bit at the bottom of this farm where we've used this, what's it called? Pale oak. I really like this look where we've just got the pale oak as a little trim down the bottom, and then we go and put like stone and cobblestone and stone bricks on top of it. And I think I'm gonna do a similar thing to this. However, we're also going to put a bunch of like dark oak wood spruce support beams. Did I just say dark oak wood spruce? I think I would also like to put a bunch of dark oak support beams. I just think that that would look really nice, and it's going to be a nice contrasting color, and it also gives us a nice little thing that we can go and hang a bunch of lanterns off of as well, so we can get some really nice little lighting there and stuff, and it just kind of matches the general color tone of like this entire base. Now, as for what the floor's going to be made out of and stuff, as I said, spruce around the train tracks would be nice, but I'm not sure about the rest of the floor, because stone makes sense, but we've already got stone in the walls, so like, I don't want to do stone floor, really. So, I don't know if there's like other blocks we could use. We could maybe use some more pale oak, but like the, you know, the wood, not the like actual planks and stuff, but also could tough look at, oh, deep slate. Deep slate could be a potential option. It might look a little strange. Yeah, like it might be a bit too dark. I don't know if it's really gonna be that good. I don't know. I think I'm gonna need to think about that one a bit more and stuff. I'm leaning towards tough. I feel like tough is going to be the best option, but it's gonna mean that I need to go back down into the mines to get a bunch more. Oh, you know what could look really good as well? I might do tough like under the water, because then it's gonna look like it's water stained and it's all darker and everything. Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, I'm getting loads of ideas for what to build for this and everything. I think we're just gonna hop into a time lapse, because this is going to be big, especially since we still need to do all of the decorations as well. That's like cargo being unloaded. So yeah, you know what? I'll see you after this. You know what? I really like this build. Is it my best work? Probably not. I mean, like, there's nothing really significant about it, but, like, I don't know. There's something really nice about it, especially down here. Like, this lowest level is definitely my favorite bit. I think it's just kind of the little details of all of the cargo that's been unloaded. Are you serious? I think it's the details of all of the cargo being unloaded and everything like that. And of course, we've got the stacks of logs here. And I've done this little detail where, like, some of the logs are stripped just to give it a bit more color variation. I would have done it with the birch as well. It's just the stripped birch is, of course, a very different color to the outside of the birch. Whereas over here, at least it's all still brown. Like, you know, that color brown is not too dissimilar from this color brown, which also is not too dissimilar from this color brown. But, like, if I strip this, it's gonna go, like, weirdly yellow and stuff. So I don't think it would have worked on this one. But also, you may have noticed there is one container which is up here. And that was by far the hardest part of this build. Because inside of it, we have this wonderful little guy who I think has been here since, like, episode 2 or 3. This little baby trident zombie. And he does actually have a name. He is now called Sludge, if you can see that for a second. I don't know why. I just think the name Sludge is weirdly fitting. And he now lives in this crate. Is that a bit cruel? Maybe. But, I mean, he's thrown a trident at me several times within just this episode. So I don't care. And also, of course, the main thing that we built this all for is the train. And I am very proud to announce, guys, that we officially have the fastest train station in the server. Because unlike everywhere else, we've actually got several power rails here, which means we get up to full speed pretty much immediately, whereas I think the rest of the train track, like, you kind of got to go quite far to get to full speed. Now, I will admit it's not connected yet and stuff, and that's because, of course, we haven't done the tunnel. Like, all of this tunnel is going to be done later on. But the main idea is, let's say you're coming from spawn or something, so you're going to come down the track, it's going to turn off here, and then you come down this way, really fast and fun. Of course, you end up at the little station here and everything. I think I have sunken too far. Yep, that's not going to work. That's not a flaw with my station, by the way. This is just because we've got faster minecarts on the server. This sort of stuff is really broken. But, you know, you can get off, you can do whatever you want to do, and then let's say you want to go to Morgan Squids and everything like that, and then you just press the button and off you go, full speed immediately. So I'm really happy with this today, and also, this is my nice little train track design, and I really love the look of this. This is something I worked on in, like, a private survival world ages ago, and I really love just this train track design. Now, normally, I don't do it like this with the stairs here. I tend to only do stairs when there's a block here. If there's not a block here, then this will normally be a slab, but again, that's in, like, a private world. But I really like the design of that for train tracks and stuff, so I thought, why don't I just bring it on here onto the server, because I love the look of it, and I also think that it fits really well with the sort of color scheme we've got going here. So yeah, I think the next thing which we're going to need to work on is definitely going to be the train tunnel and everything, because, like, yeah, this needs to connect to the main line, otherwise it is functionally useless. But of course, I have got the issue of the fact that, like, this is a very wide tunnel, and it's going to be, like, quite a sort of intricate design with what I've got in mind, and then I need to connect it to this. And this is currently just a 2-block tall tunnel dug through the mountain. So I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to handle it and everything, and I'm also probably going to talk to Luma, because of course Luma lives up here, so it's somewhat her tunnel as well. I think it is a far enough distance to not really bother too much contacting Morgan Squid, because of course, like, it goes through the mountain here, and they've already got their own tunnel over here, really. So yeah, I'll probably get in contact with Luma at some point and just say, like, hey, do you have any ideas of, like, what you might want this to look like, or can I design it like this and stuff like that, and then hopefully we'll get all of that worked out. But for now, all I have left to say is thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you have enjoyed, and I am very excited to get this rail network complete. And also, you in here, I want to get you to throw a trident at someone else. You know, like, I don't mind you being evil, just be evil with someone else, please.